As far back as I can remember, I've enjoyed taking pictures on rainy days. There's just something about the overcast light, the even lighting, the wet ground, the mood of a rainy day. It's just a really fun environment to take pictures in. And with my new macro lens, all of these rainy day type of photos are suddenly taking on a whole different perspective or a different light. That's what I've got here. This is a photo of, well, it's a water droplet. It's really small. If you can imagine just like a tiny leaf with a tiny drop in the center. I don't know. Maybe it's like a quarter inch from one end to the other end. And I wanted to get a photo of this water droplet it was actually after a rainy day. It was a rainy morning, and so I went out on the afternoon to try and get a picture of the something with rain or precipitation. And I saw this water droplet kind of sitting in the bottom of this bowl of a leaf. I thought, man, that'd be really cool to get a picture of it. And one thing about this macro lens, I'm having to relearn everything I thought I knew about getting photos close up. And one of those is what I thought was a small aperture before is not a small aperture. I shot this at like f8, f13, and it just wasn't working out right. And I eventually shot it at f19. And I thought, well, that's way too small of an aperture. Everything's going to be in focus. It's not going to work, but that's not the case at all. F19 is still like insanely shallow depth of field, and there's plenty of foreground and background blur, and you get that nice sunburst pattern on the top, just the top left of the leaf where the sun is reflected in that water droplet. And that's one of the cool things about using my macro lens is it's sort of like I'm relearning so many things about taking photos that I thought I knew before. And it's not that I didn't know them. I'm just learning them in a different way. I'm learning that aperture has a different meaning when you're so close. And holding your camera steady, you can't always rely on the image stabilization in this macro lens or any macro lens really. You need a steady surface. You need a longer shutter speed than you might think. It's a really cool, challenging, fun environment to be shooting in.